So, tell me something terrible.
Okay, how many of those have you had?
It's 5.
Holy shit. How did that happen? It feels like 20 minutes ago you were like, oh, I've had 3 of these.
I started the first one, opened it, and then I ran to Menards. And I came back and finished it. And then I had 3 during dinner and slightly after. And this is my 5th.
Oh.
What do you want from me?
You just drank. You were efficient.
Chips and salsa.
Yep.
That's the magic to making...
anything go away.
Well, it's to making my least desirable flavors of Vizzy go away.
You don't like the papaya passion fruit?
I've always thought papaya smells like feet. Ever since I worked in the produce department.
For a decade, you had anytime you got a papaya.
We would take them. We take the Marisol papaya and cut them in half because people will buy them if they see the inside because they're weird and they're like orange with like little black seeds. They always smelled like feet to me. So this tastes a little like feet to me.
But you don't have the cilantro taste like soap, Gene?
I mean, I don't go out of my way to eat papaya because I don't think it tastes good. But anyway,
is
that how we're starting this?
I suppose.
Sweet. What's the topic?
Wait, who are we?
I know who I am. You got to start though.
I'm Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, now we can get started.
Feet papaya. Let's go.
Okay, so this topic
is
lighthearted at first.
Okay.
And then takes a very harsh turn. But it is solved.
Terrific.
So.
That's all I'm looking for in life. We do not have... Our podcast is not called Unsolved Mysteries. That's trademarked, I think.
Yeah, I believe there might be a little show about unsolved mysteries that, it's a little popular in the 90s.
I'm actually going to veto the title. We're going to call it Tell Me Something Terrible That Is Solved.
That is solved.
Yes. Anyway.
So... get your jokes out now.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and happy Mother's Day to you. We're recording this on Mother's Day.
Whatever.
That's
how I feel about every holiday.
We found morels today, though.
Yeah, we did.
Did you put that on the podcast page at all?
No.
Okay. I only put it on my gram, so.
On your personal gram?
We don't have a podgram.
No, we don't.
That'd be weird.
A podgram?
Yeah, photos for an auditory medium.
No, lots of people have them. Sorry, I have a thing on my phone.
Yeah, but I run the Twitter. You run the Facebook.
I hate all social media, so... Yeah,
so deciding which or both of us to run an Instagram account sounds miserable.
I already run 2. God, that sounds exhausting.
Oh my God. Back to your topic. Is it Mother's Day?
No.
Oh, that'd be very dark. Mother's Day murders.
I'm sure there's lots of podcasts who have released that. So
murdering mothers would not be a fun one after the child annihilation or the family annihilators.
Yeah, that you did
in the bonus episode, accidentally.
# shameless plugging.
Yeah, Patreon. Oh,
yeah, I purposely...
Hold on.
Wait,
we actually have an announcement.
Oh yes, we have another Patreon.
We have a new patron. Dano. Full name Daniel, I believe. But anyway, anyone who follows our other patron, Jamie, who streams is Big J1066 over on Twitch. If you ever want to watch, Twitch streams, if you're into that. Dano plays a lot of games with him and is now a patron.
I hear both of their voices often, so it seems fitting that they get a little extra dose of us.
It's like an ambiance throughout the house is his streams.
Just,
Lily watched him play Zelda for about 2 hours this morning.
Sweet.
Yep, that's
And then we made her go out in the woods, and she had lots of fun throwing what she calls piggy noses into the swamps, because we live in Michigan, which is primarily a swamp.
And she also walked around with her fairy book tucked under her right arm the entire time.
Well, I walked around with 2 skulls of tiny animals that I found.
And she's like, there must be kelpies here. You keep finding skulls. And I'm like, child, you're 8. That seems like a very not 8-year-old thing to say. But anyway, thank you, Dano, for your Patreon support.
And I apologize to my mother and sister-in-law for being weird.
Whatever. And Jamie re-upped on his Patreon.
Yay.
So we'll shout him out for re-upping.
Well, I think you already did, too.
Did I?
Yeah. You dropped his
Twitch
handle.
Yeah, his Twitch, yeah. But anyway, thank you for all your support.
Yes.
Patrons.
Yep.
Patrons! Anyway.
So...
You hear that
I
voice.
guess now we'll insert some shameless plugging. $1 will get you a few extra bonus episodes for backlog and 1 extra a month. And then $5 will get you a pin.
Yep.
And access to a Discord we don't use because we don't have a lot of people in it. Also, I think you're in charge of that.
The Discord?
Yeah.
I occasionally will post things in the Schitt's Creek only meme channel on that. I still do update
At
that.
this point, I feel like we need to have one for like all pop culture. We need to have nostalgia's 90s that we get wrong.
Nope. There's a channel. You can create whatever channel you want. You're in that Discord. Oof. But the Schitt's Creek memes only channel is the only one I contribute to.
Okay.
And it's just me screaming into the void, which is exactly how I like it.
Oh, that's what we're doing now.
Anyway, as you were, your topic.
Yes. Speaking of the void.
Now that we've moved on past announcements.
No, I feel like this is pretty applicable. So, hear me out. We're going to talk about...
Hear me out, bro.
The simulation theory.
Okay.
How much do you know about the simulation theory?
Not very.
Okay. What's the one cultural icon we have that delves into the simulation theory?
Well, okay.
The huge one. Big one.
In my defense, I did see you watching something very Matrix-esque on the TV, so I'm assuming it's Matrix.
Yes. So, Matrix, that's like
is
the intro to it. Is this why you made me take
a blue pill before we start? Just kidding.
Yes. Yes. Not that kind of blue pill. It's
that was
a different kind of blue pill. He does not need a blue pill, guys.
I was going to say, we're in our 30s. We're not quite to blue pill territory
No,
yet.
Even though he is a diabetic, there's absolutely no problem there. Not like anybody needs to know.
I was going to say, now you're going to delve into a different simulation theory where...
You mean stimulation theory? God, I hate you. Okay, so...
Anywho.
Stimulation theory.
Simulation
theory. So we're going to go over a small synopsis for those of you who don't know or have never seen The Matrix, because apparently...
Is there people that haven't seen The Matrix?
I don't know, but there are some, I'm assuming, like you said, there are some people that we've been told this is like the first podcast they listen to, so I'm sure they haven't really gone down the wormhole that is the dark corners of the internet.
That's a movie that I just feel like everybody has... Like, it's an iconic movie.
Yeah, but we're gonna go a little bit deeper than just the basic concepts behind The Matrix.
Now that we're fully stimulated?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Plato. Yep. It goes that far back.
Okay.
To the philosopher.
Yeah, I know who Plato is.
Plato suggested that the reality that humans were perceiving was simply being put on display for us on lit walls of caves. Other people bringing in essentially shadow puppets to act out our world in front of our eyes while we're all chained together in a dark chamber of a cave. But one managed to get out. And when he emerged from the cave, he said his eyes hurt. He was told it was because he had never used them before. Sound familiar?
Sure.
That line is in The Matrix.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. So we're going to fast forward to 1977.
Also, bear in mind, I haven't seen The Matrix in whatever 20 years.
Yeah, it came out in 99.
Did it? Okay, yeah. I was going to
say,
it's probably been 20 years since I've seen the original
The only reason
Matrix.
why I knew that is because I watched a 2-hour documentary.
Yes.
On...
This?
It's great. It was awesome. I think everybody should watch it. It's called A Glitch in the Matrix. It's really good. It came out in 2021. It's awesome.
I've seen the original Matrix probably 3-4 times. Mm-hmm. I saw the second one once, and I saw the third one once.
Mm-hmm. But this isn't just about the Matrix. It's about the simulation theory in general.
If you were going to quiz me on Matrix facts, I'm going to fail.
This is the entire thing. So and that goes into like that documentary goes into the deeper sides of the simulation theory and kind of where it started. It's a really cool documentary. Which I didn't know about it until I didn't get this murder from that documentary. I found the documentary after I found this murder because I remember seeing a summation of it, and it mentioned it linked to the murder that I'm going to get to, and I was like, oh shit, is this about the murder? And it took an hour and 15 minutes before they even got to the murder.
Nice.
in a 2-hour documentary.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Little backstory.
Yep. Where was I at? Okay. So, Philip K. Dick, who brought us... Yes, Philip K. Dick.
Not Phil Dick.
Who brought us the literary works of Minority Report, Total Recall, Blade Runner, and dozens of other books exploring alternative realities. He gave a speech to an enthralled audience in 1977 in France, revealing to us all that we may in fact be living in an artificial simulation, further catapulting this concept of the simulation theory into the cultural milieu, the collective and consciousness. So he started his speech with, I may be talking about something that may or may not exist. Therefore, I am free to say everything and nothing. We are living in a computer program reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable changes and some alteration in our reality occurs.
Okay.
So this is reflected in the concept of deja vu in The Matrix and has woven itself so thoroughly into the fabric of our lexicon that we call it the glitch in the Matrix.
Okay.
Okay. It's also led to the concept of the Mandela effect.
Okay.
Because a lot of people will use the Mandela effect as evidence.
I feel like you should have prefaced this with, hey, you shouldn't drink tonight because tonight's going to be confusing.
Yes.
And like mind warping.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. I feel like I need to take like notes. I need diagrams. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So in 1993, The Matrix was released into the masses.
93? I thought
you said 99. You're right. 99.
Okay. I was like, I don't think I saw that movie when I was 5.
No. So The Matrix was released, and paired with our own advancement in technology, the simulation hypothesis, which is like what people are way down in it, people finally really grasp it. You know, back in the 70s when it was first kind of released upon us, nobody understood.
Yeah.
And now we got it.
Okay.
So now...
I've also... Side note.
Yes.
I was thinking about Keanu Reeves. Have you ever seen any of the John Wick movies?
No.
Neither have I, and I feel like it's a shame. I feel like we probably should watch those.
Yes. Yeah. They're also... And everybody always talks about, like, too, when you hear stories of, like, fans running into Keanu Reeves, they're like, no, he's a genuinely...
Did you ever see Hardball?
Really good guy. No.
Really?
I honestly think the only Keanu Reeves movies I've seen are The Matrixes.
Really?
Yeah.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? No?
No.
I've seen that once just to say I've seen it, but I don't remember, like, I don't like know it. But Hardball will make you like cry.
Oh,
Keanu Reeves like coaches like an inner city like little league baseball team.
Aww.
And like one of them gets shot in gang violence.
Oh my god. No. I have
seen
it.
I think I've made you watch it. Yeah,
because he was like running across.
Spoiler
a field.
alert, by the way.
That was like a little kid.
He runs between two like projects.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a grassy spot. Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that is a really sad movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Mighty Ducks if it was shot in the projects.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, literally, like those movies have a lot of very similar ties.
One's whitewashed and being like, look at these privileged kids, but still good for them. And the other one's like, no, this is real world.
Well, one's like the Canadian version, and one's like, no, Mighty Ducks wasn't Canadian, but like the hockey white people reference. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although there's inner city ties in Mighty Ducks. Knuckle Puck Time? No. Anyway. There's a little diversity in Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
It's not a bunch of white kids. It's not.
Okay.
You want to watch it?
No.
You sure?
Yep.
I do. Anyway.
So the basis of the theory is that we are living in a simulated reality.
Yep.
Where a smaller amount of people or one giant machine / program controls us. Okay. And we have main characters, which some people postulate, one of whom is Elon Musk. And he just keeps dropping like real heavy hints, waiting for us to like wake up and like see the truth.
Okay.
Like people postulate
is that why he names his kids like
ridiculous code names that don't matter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like when you type your name into Sims, and you're like, I'm just gonna make up a stupid username.
Yeah, but when they type in their name, they have to use all those weird characters on the third keyboard over.
Yeah. So like there's one of the theory that was presented in that documentary is like there's like a small group of 200,000 people that are actually controlling, and it's kind of like Westworld style. And where people like will just drop in as a character, and that's sort of like
did you ever
what
watch
happened
Westworld?
with Elon. No, only a few episodes.
Oh, it's really good.
But people present that Elon Musk is one of the like main characters of the storyline, and we're just in his world. And he keeps trying to get us to be like, bro, hi, you're a simulation, you're fake, you're a program. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So there are NPC or non-player characters that we interact with, which just enhances that reality. This could...
You're getting really deep into the video game talk now.
Yes, we are. That's why like it's like this theory was presented all the way back from like in Plato's time and then in the 70s. And nowadays it's finally... we have technology that's advanced enough for you to be like, oh my God, you're right. This really could be a simulation. People truly believe it.
Welcome to the metaverse. Oh, we're going to get there? No?
It's just that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole point of the metaverse.
Huzzah.
I just can't. It's a lot. Anyway.
What I was listening to something. Was that a podcast? About some movie I've never seen, about where like they make a copy of the person and then they don't know if they're the copy or if they're the person. Shit, what was that? Anyway.
There's a lot of movies like that. There's one that has Ewan McGregor in it.
Okay.
Isn't there?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Multiplicity? I feel like that.
Sure, why not? I think The Island is like that, isn't it?
No. That's where you buy an insurance plan and they make a clone of you, and if you get hurt, they chop off the clone's arm and put it on your body.
Okay.
And the clones escape. ScarJo, come on now.
Yeah.
ScarJo, that movie came out like 2005.
Crush.
Yeah, that made a very big impression on my
Clearly. You're like, nope, I know exactly what movie you're talking about.
Someone else is the dude in that one. I don't think it's Ewan McGregor. Is it?
I think it is.
It could be.
It might be.
It's one of those,
at both of our crushes.
It's one of those Brits.
Ewan McGregor.
It could be.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was him.
It could
Anyway, he's the reason why I considered watching Star Wars.
I hope it was the other guy who is Vision.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's him instead. Who's like the off-brand Ewan McGregor.
He's the Wish version.
Yeah.
So we can't remember his name. He's that much of a Wish version.
He's the one that's in the Tom Hanks movie.
Thanks.
No, the one about like...
This is going off the rails.
Okay, good.
So far.
He's the one that plays like the priest that like ties a thing around him. Shit. Oh, it's also based upon like a conspiracy.
It also has Ewan McGregor in it. It's not Angels and Demons. It's the Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. Yes. Anyway,
Angels and Demons has Ewan McGregor in it.
Proceed with your weird...
Look at us nailing all our pop culture references right now, by the way.
By nailing, you mean just like playing whack-a-mole with our fucking brains. Yes, we're nailing this. Please proceed.
So
I would stop listening at this point. So if you're still here, you're a true fan. Proceed.
So, so it could be like a reality that's like the Matrix, where you're just plugged into your own individual character, or it could be a virtual place where humans escape the hellscape that we created for ourselves. Or it could be like a video game kind of situation where you have like Minecraft and Sims and Westworld. There's all different sorts of theories behind exactly what it is. It's just so wide ranging. It could be anything.
Okay.
And like I said, this isn't a new concept. And then it was presented in The Glitch of the Matrix that the understanding of the simulation we live in is only as advanced as the technology that we understand around us.
So we're like trying to play catch up?
Yeah, okay. Essentially. Blah, blah, blah. I explained that already.
Are you redoing a couple of paragraphs?
Nope. Oh, right here. So since things get more realistic, there's a thinning of the veil between what's real and what's virtual. And so it's not that hard to understand that the next logical leap would be that there's a more advanced society controlling us. So what happens if someone dies in our simulation? If that's reality, is it even real?
Game over.
Yep. So this is a fun concept to play around with when you are high with friends, but some people go a little bit too far. People that can't understand like the gray shades of the world, the like black and white thinkers. People like Joshua Cook. So
am I supposed to know that name?
Nope.
Okay, good. I was like, you said that like...
We're finally to our murder. We finally got into our left turn.
Was he in a Tom Hanks movie? Anyway.
No. Nope, we got to the left turn finally. So Joshua Cook is a 19-year-old who was introduced to the Matrix by a friend that told him that you got to see this movie. It's going to change your life. Uh-huh. And some people like Josh, it really did. It took a very dark and sinister turn. Josh and his sister Tiffany were abandoned by their
name.
Yeah, it really is. I'm going to have so much fun continuing to say my name.
Good.
So they were abandoned by their biological mother nearly immediately after Josh was born, and then shortly after by his biological father. So they both became wards of the state of Ohio, and this is where they spent the next 5 years in and out of foster homes.
In Ohio?
Yep, in Ohio.
Okay. The worst state to be a foster home in.
Indiana might suck a little bit more.
I'm just throwing shade at Ohio.
But they're like a real close second, yeah. So eventually Josh and Tiffany were both adopted in 1989. Good year.
Was it?
Yep. Rude. So they were adopted by Paul and Margaret Cook, and they were taken to Virginia to live with their new family.
Okay.
So according to Tiffany, they were a great family unit who had their typical disagreements, but they were always handled respectfully.
All right.
But according to Josh...
All sunny.
According to Josh, he was verbally and physically abused by his adoptive parents, as well as maliciously bullied at school. And but it very well could have been because Josh was quite the like typical 90s school shooter kind of kid.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once he saw The Matrix for the first time, he was obsessed, to say the least. He took
started dressing like Neo.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yep. He took a trip to his local Hot Topic.
Nice.
Yep. Which in the documentary, he goes, "You may not have heard about this store."
What were the bunny things called?
The Happy Bunny?
With all like
the original memes?
Yeah,
like
with the little shit sayings, yeah.
Oh, I had
buttons,
folder,
magnets.
buttons, everything.
Nice.
Stickers.
I knew you would know the name of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the original meme.
Mm-hmm. So he was like trap pants and like black shirts and okay, cool.
Yep. So he I just think it's funny though because he's like, "You may not have heard of this store," like Bub.
Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care what clique you fell in at school. If you were alive in that early 2000s, late 90s, you knew what Hot Topic was.
Exactly. Yeah. He's just trying to give you a vibe for the feel of this guy.
Give you a vibe.
Yeah. Let you really kind of pick up on what this.
You know about my store, Hot Topic. Stuart.
Yes.
Letterkenny. If you haven't seen Letterkenny, it's worth it.
Yes. So he goes to his local Hot Topic. Mm-hmm. He picked himself up a black trench coat.
Nice.
And the obligatory knee-high black leather boots that his hero Neo wore. Also, don't chuckle at the knee-high black leather boots.
His didn't have as much of a heel as yours probably did.
No, and his were zip-ups and weren't laced, so he wasn't like real serious.
Well, he had to be ready to, go at anybody. He didn't have the time for all that lace-up shit.
The lace-up ones did have like zippers halfway down one side.
And the one boots you had that had zippers on the side, like corroded, remember? Like got rusty.
Yeah, but those ones were like the cute, more like rider boot styles. Where the black ones that I had in high school were the ones that zipped from the toe box all the way up to the knee. They had 4-inch chunky or like 3-inch chunky heels. Yeah, nope, and they had the little loops. And the big thick laces. And
are you going back to when you were like every emo's kid's dream?
Yes. Back when I had an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
back
healthy.
when I used to own steel toe boots.
Ooh.
That I bought at Kmart because we couldn't afford name brand.
Tell me more.
Anyway.
Okay. So Josh also picked himself up his very own copy of The Matrix on VHS.
Nice.
And the corresponding soundtrack to listen on repeat on his Walkman disc player.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say in his like Honda Civic or his Dodge Neon. He seems like a Dodge Neon kind of guy.
I don't know. I was a big fan of my LeBaron.
No, I feel like he had a Dodge Neon that he spray painted the hubcaps black.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Or highlighter yellow.
Yeah, or I was going to say neon green.
Yes.
Yeah, we're same
Yep.
thought with it.
Yep. So for months, Josh hold himself into. Oh my gosh! First I slaughtered that sentence. Second, it's also written grammatically incorrect.
Well, blame the writer.
Yep.
At least you know you didn't copy and paste it.
Nope. So Josh held doesn't matter. He cloistered himself in his bedroom.
Sequestered.
Yes. Watching.
If he hold himself, that'd be something a little different. I don't.
Yeah. I decided to pick a different adjective. Much more.
The emo kid holing himself.
I decided to go with a more elaborate.
Yeah, we don't
adjective.
have like attorney, but we might get this podcast removed if you start holing your. Anyway.
So he spent all his time watching and listening to all things Matrix under his Matrix poster, slipping further and further into paranoia.
Ooh, I feel like he's going to get on some chats. What do you call that? Like the
4chan?
No. Back then it was
AOL.
No, what are the word?
Chat rooms.
Chat rooms.
Yes.
Why did it anyway?
You're very close. I gave up. We don't have enough time to say chat rooms now. It's just simply chats.
Chat, yeah.
So when not in his room, he watching The Matrix 2 to 3 times a day. He could be found skulking around his local mall in his trench coat and boots, listening to The Matrix soundtracks. He felt powerful when people would dart out of his way. He felt like Neo. So he started noticing.
Someone points at him and he like does like the slow motion, like backwards bend, like back bend.
So he started noticing synchronicities, the glitches, solidifying his belief in the Matrix.
Okay.
So by February 17th, 2003, it was a snowy Monday. He helped his father, Paul, shovel snow that morning and then went about his usual day's activities, cloistered up in his bedroom, clad in his black trench coat, playing his violent video games and watching The Matrix over and over and over again.
And drinking Mountain Dew by the 2-liter.
Oh, yeah. So this time, though, he sat sinking further and further into his delusion, stroking his newly purchased shotgun.
Oh, goody.
You finally got there.
Well, I mean, what good's a trench coat if you're not hiding a weapon under it?
Mm-hmm. So it's a la Columbine.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So it dawned on him that in order to confirm his beliefs that...
He needed to shoot someone?
He was living in a simulation. No, not quite yet. Okay. Not quite yet. There's only one thing to do. He went to his parents' room and he picked up the receiver back when house phones were on the wall, and into the phone, into the void, the dial tone, he spoke Neo's last words in the movie, something about he knew they were listening, he knew that they were there, he was going to find them, and that they should be afraid of him. So then he went back to his room and watched The Matrix one last time.
Okay.
At approximately 7:30 that night, he loaded his gun and put on his headphones, but this time the soundtrack was a little different. It was Drowning Pool, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
Okay.
Yep. So this is when Josh headed to the family's finished basement with his loaded shotgun. Margaret, his adopted mother, was sitting at the computer where she swiveled around to address her son, her eyes going wide, and Josh took aim and shot her twice in the chest.
Okay.
Okay. He then went to Paul, who was attempting to protect himself under his desk that he was sitting at. Josh got down to eye level with his father and shot him 3 times in the face.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So Josh, with bodies still playing on his headphones, proceeded to walk back upstairs to his bedroom and reload his shotgun.
Okay.
He headed back down to the basement where he stopped at the top of the stairs. He saw Margaret standing at the bottom, holding her chest bleeding out. She asked him, "Joshua, what did you do?" and said you wouldn't, as he took aim and pulled the trigger one last time. Josh said, quote, "Her face exploded."
Okay.
With an eye that went out of the back of her head.
Thank you for that.
This is in the documentary. Just so you know, these are his exact words.
I won't be watching said documentary, but thank you.
So he said in that moment that he realized it wasn't a simulation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said, quote, "It messed me up pretty bad because it wasn't like anything I'd seen in The Matrix. Real life is much more gruesome."
Yeah, and it's not fake.
And he's 19, by the way, so he's old enough to fucking know better. It's not like he's 11, 12 years old and doesn't know.
Yeah, well, you can brainwash yourself.
So Josh proceeded to walk to the other house phone upstairs in the kitchen to call the police, and he put the receiver up to his ear and realized that his sister was on the other end the entire time, listening to everything as it unfolded.
Okay.
Yep. So she told him, "Josh, I just want to talk to Daddy," and he told her that she needed to hang up, and he just let the receiver dangle. He went down to the basement, grabbed Paul's cell phone and a Coke from the fridge. And yep.
Worked up a thirst.
Yep. And he went outside to call the police. He told them he'd shot his parents and he would be waiting for them unarmed outside, so please don't shoot him when they arrived. And that's where they arrested him, outside drinking a Coke in the snow. Yep. So Paul...
A lot has happened in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I told you it was going to take a dark turn. So Paul died of 7 gunshot wounds and Margaret died of 3.
I thought he only shot him 3 times.
That's what Josh recalls.
Oh, okay. Good.
He had 7.
And then he blacked out for the... Okay.
Yeah, he had 7 shotgun wounds.
Good.
Margaret died of 3. So at his trial, his defense team claimed after having a psychiatric visit with him
Insanity?
twice, that he suffered from what was dubbed basic schizophrenia, which is an old, outdated diagnosis from the late 60s. And that he, quote, harbored a bona fide belief that he was living in the virtual reality of the Matrix, and hence the Matrix defense was brought to the attention of the masses.
Okay.
At pre-trial, Josh's team intended to lean heavily on the insanity defense and said that he needed psychiatric help. And with
Agreed.
with the trifecta of abuse at home, of which Tiffany said there was none, and bullying at his school and his untreated mental health issues.
As someone going to school in a similar time frame, the kid that was wearing a long black trench coat probably was bullied. I'm not going to deny that part.
Yeah.
We went to school with a couple of those. They didn't have it easy. I don't know.
Absolutely
It's
not.
the chicken and the egg thing.
Yeah.
I don't know which came first, the trench coat or the bullying, but either way.
The bullying probably came first, and when you don't have the mental health support that you need, it can really manifest in really negative ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more often than not, I really truly think that the black trench coat thing did not come from things like The Matrix. It came from things like media covered of Klebold and what's his tits.
Yeah, I think
from Columbine.
Well, no, and I think it was that era. I feel like the black trench coat was popular in a lot of pop culture references.
Yes, a lot of grunge, angry, but the Columbine shooters really just shot it up.
That was also like,
no pun intended. That was really bad,
right? Yeah, but like The Matrix, Underworld, a lot of that kind of like pop culture references, like were coming to fruition at that point.
Yeah,
and like metal bands and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
was super popular.
Yeah, and it's easy to hide weapons.
Or just like to hide yourself because you probably hate yourself and
Yeah,
that kind of thing too.
And it also doesn't help. It's getting better. Like mental health isn't the best, but it has come leaps and bounds.
It's at least acknowledged as a real thing.
Yeah,
which is a big step. Unfortunately, that's a big step.
Yeah. Apparently these mental health issues ran in his family. This is why family history.
Biological?
Yeah, their biological family. This is why when it comes to adoptions and stuff like that, it's really important.
Okay.
Because his father was diagnosed with bipolar disorder with paranoia, and his mother and brother were both diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Okay.
Would have been real good to know that.
Yeah, that might have given some context. Yep.
So ultimately, though, Josh decided to plead guilty because he did manage to snap back to reality and felt a quote twinge of regret.
A twinge?
A twinge. Yep. When he pulled the trigger the last
just
time.
Like the essence of regret, not full on regret.
Just a twinge. And then with the actions of his actions after the murders and calling the cops and asking him to not be shot, they're like, we can't plead insanity.
Yeah.
So he just took the charges.
Yeah, there's blatant awareness at that point. Yeah.
Yep. He was ultimately charged with 32 years to be served concurrently, which is side by side.
Yeah.
For the murders, and 3 for committing a felony for the murder of Paul, and 5 for committing the felony of committing murder against Margaret. So he's serving a total of 40 years, and he'll be released in 2043.
Okay.
Yep. Josh did go on, though.
He'll only be like 59.
Yeah.
I mean,
because he was 19.
Yeah.
I think he's getting the help he needs, or at least is aware enough now, because he did wind up going on to write a book about the dangers of believing in the simulation theory.
Did he see the sequels?
I don't know. He probably shouldn't. Maybe that should be like part of his you can be released if you don't see any of the Matrix
imagine he gets
sequels.
out at 59. He's just living his best life. He's got cable. He leaves TNT on one night. He wakes up the next day, turns it on, and they're showing The Matrix 2 on repeat.
God.
Right?
Hopefully he's medicated. He did wind up writing books about the dangers of believing in the simulation theory and unchecked mental health issues, in hopes that other troubled kids will not repeat his mistake, which now he truly does feel horrible about. So, Yep. The Matrix, though, has been used. The Matrix defense has been used in other murder trials. It was unsuccessfully used later that year in 2003 in the DC sniper case, which is Lee Boyd Malvo's trial. He went on a 3-week sniper spree with a partner.
That. Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, that one in DC. He killed 10 people.
I was a teenager when that was going on.
And then he ultimately pleaded guilty after his defense failed for the insanity plea based on his playing of violent video games, because that was the world was just endangered. We were all going to go to hell, and be a bunch of school shooters because of violent video games.
Because of Halo.
Mm-hmm. So it was used successfully, though, in the murder trials of Vadim Masijus, a San Franciscoan.
San Franciscoan?
Yep. Who dismembered his landlady unprovoked in 2003 as well. He told police he'd been sucked into the Matrix, and he was found not guilty.
Did you say police?
Police, yes. The police of being sucked into the Matrix. So he was found not guilty by reason of insanity. And then it was also used successfully in the 2002 trial of Tonda Lynn Ansley, who was another Ohio woman who shot her landlady, Sherry Corbett, fatally. I think maybe in the back. I can't remember what. Tonda also told the police that she was being drugged to make her think things she was envisioning in her dreams because people in the Matrix were drugged and made to do terrible things and then placed back in their beds and believed that those things were just dreams.
I agree that she was probably on drugs.
Yeah.
I don't know
where
the said drugs came from, but
she got to plead innocence by
Matrix insanity.
Yeah. Yep. She got to use the Matrix defense. So, but there's a criminal justice professor at University of Alabama. His name is Adam Lankford. He discusses with Oxygen.com why the Matrix defense and violent movies and video games shouldn't be as solid as a defense as it's made out to be. While these things are capable of influencing psychologically healthy people, they have an even stronger influence on those that are not,
unhealthy.
Yeah. So defense lawyers think that they can lean on this because they just have to prove that they just use the insanity defense. They just hinge it on violent video games and violent movies making people go crazy and doing this.
Yeah.
So it's used a lot.
Okay.
But statistically, in reality, he says, quote, there are no clear evidence that suggests that movies of any kind influence violent behavior. So while that particular era in the 1990s and early 2000s was known for turning movies and video games as a causation for murder, over recent decades, the trends have been going in the opposite directions, with an increase in violent entertainment, but a decrease in violence in society.
All right.
So it's like, that's not even a real
We've become
good defense.
desensitized.
Yeah. Yeah, like we just watch more violent stuff.
Yeah, like whatever. We might get done doing this. I might play some Warzone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shoot anybody tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, and we were told when we were growing up, like, oh my gosh, this is like the downfall of America. And then statistically, it's not changing anything at all. Like, it doesn't matter.
No.
So that's the Matrix and simulation theory and how it's used and why it's used and the horrible murder of Paul and Margaret
Cook.
I
remember.
with an E.
Yes.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Hopefully everybody listening took notes.
Yeah. There was okay, when you brought in Plato and everything, I didn't know how far down the philosophical. No, we didn't go as far down. Like, I didn't know how far.
I just think it's crazy that, like, I just assumed that this was something that was like kind of brought up in the 80s when you have a lot of those, like, the books that guy Philip K. Dick wrote, and obviously the Matrix popularized it. I just thought that was like how long that theory had been around. I was fascinated that Plato had suggested something similar.
Was Matrix based upon a book, or was
I
it
have
just
no
a movie?
I don't actually,
because I feel like every movie has like I feel like most movies have like a book behind it.
Well, a lot of the alternative reality movies are based off of the Philip Dick's books. So I don't know if The Matrix is itself, though.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was also some...
They probably mentioned it in a documentary, but I just was, look.
It's a lot to take in.
And I knew a lot about the simulation theory already.
Yeah.
Sources. Netflix, A Glitch in the Matrix. Go watch it. The movie The Matrix. Yes. And A Glitch in the Matrix. And then 2 Washington Post articles, Virginia teenager pleads guilty to murdering parents, and does the Matrix inspire the disturbed? Ooh. And then Oxygen.com article, what is the Matrix defense, and does claiming real life in a simulation actually work? And then ConnectionNewspaper.com article, Matrix defendant sentenced to 40 years. If you've made it this far.
Congrats.
That was a doozy.
It was.
You sound very discontented.
No, I judged that discontent up just for some dramatic effect. But no, that one was I'm not going to say all over the place, but it...
you have to know a little bit of the backstory to see why this kid was...
It definitely wasn't in the straight line that I thought we might be going down. So that's kind of fun. And like, we cover a lot of murders and true crime and stuff, but this had a little bit of...
spin on it.
Yeah, a little twist.
And it's fun to get the backstory. Because some people also are like, what the fuck is a simulation theory?
Yeah, no, I've heard of it, like the broad spectrum.
But now you get like a little mini dive into...
Look, we learned you something.
Yeah, hopefully you understood. Elon Musk is clearly a main player in this virtual reality we live in, and we're all a bunch of NPCs.
He's a higher sentient being than ourselves.
Yeah. It's also a very centered, like self-centered concept.
Oh, 100%.
Because you know everybody's going to be like, no, I'm totally the main character that my person's playing. Everybody else is the NPCs.
Yeah. Well, in your own mind, you're the main character.
Yeah. It's just a very I don't know. It's just a dumb, self-centered
perspective.
Yes. Pretty much, yeah.
That's fun.
Yep.
Let's all chew on that for the rest of the week.
Yep.
And we'll come back next week with a different topic.
Yep.
You have next week's episode planned?
I had a thought earlier, and I've quickly forgotten it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So that'll be the topic of next week. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Okay.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Dano.
Thanks, Dano.
For the Patreon.
Bye.
Bye.
Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.